What is up guys, WOOO here, back again with another Division 2 video. Welcome back guys. Today's build, this is a special one, and why is that? And that's because a good friend of mine reached out to me a few days back and said this. Hi mate, I just wanted to show you this build because I think you would really like it. It's a never-ending flame turret build with 4-piece rigger. It actually makes the flame turret viable. Hope you're doing well mate. And this guy is Sando, who is an absolute legend. He's been a supporter of the channel for a long time now, and appreciate Sando's support from the very heart. Truly nice guy. So with that being said, I asked Sando, I said, can I share this build you've shared with me? And can I, again, put a little bit of a twist on it, just a little bit, just to see how I would roll with it and why I would. And to show you guys that the flame turret is, again, it's not the greatest skill variant in the game, but it's still highly usable in most content in the game. So this is what Sando sent to me. And this is, yes, you've guessed it, it is 4-piece rigger. I'm using the Vile Mask and Golden Gear for the extra bit of 10% status effects. I'm using Firewall Spec and the Scorpio shotgun. This is Sando's build, which is really nice. God, Sando, seriously man, he's really nice. So what I did something very similar, and I come up with this build. Take a look at this. Now what I'm using is something, again, nearly identical. It is Firewall, it is the Scorpio shotgun, it is the Vile Mask, it is 4-piece rigger, and the Kneepads, which is slightly different. But guys, yeah, let me just go through this step by step. Now, but before I do, you've seen the footage and you've seen that, again, this flame turret is never ending. It will never run out. So you can keep spamming and spamming. And the one problem you have with a flame turret, and we all know this, deployment is key. If you get that deployment wrong, you know you have to dismantle it, and you'd wait an eternity for the flame turret to come back. Best part of 30-35 seconds, which is just unavoidable, highly frustrating, and you steer away from using this in any content. Trust me, you do. So it makes it one of the low-end tier skills to use. So I use this with Hardwired occasionally, so you'd have that 10-second flame turret. So you'd have a really hard-hitting skill damage flame turret, but yet no real status effects, but the burn is still nice. And then you could, again, spam that every 10 seconds. And what Sando's done and what he's provided is literally a flame turret which continuously burns, and you dismantle it, it's back again, just like that. And great. So this is the build. I'm going to go through it step by step. Firewall. I've opted for Firewall for the burn duration. I want NPCs to burn longer. I want them to really suffer, because that's the intention of the burn, is to really burn their ass off. Alternatively, you can use, if you wish, Survivalist for the extra 10% status effect damage for your teammates. That is also an option. This is more of a team build as opposed to a solo build, in my opinion, but still viable in any content. In, solo, group play, that's entirely up to you. Firewall is my chosen spec. Armor 726k, health 329.1k, 6 skill tiers. Let's go through the build step by step. We're going to start with the holster. And the holster is the first piece of the rigger gear set. And rigger is one of those underutilized, in my opinion, because I rarely see people use this. They go for that max amount of skill damage, with, again, trying to get the cooldown as low as possible. But guys, you got to remember, if you're waiting for your skills to come back, they're doing no damage. With rigger, again, you cannot garner as much damage as you would like, but you can consistently have your skills complete uptime. That's it. And that's what I like about offering this build, and it's something to bear in mind once using this build. So what rigger does, let's go. The 2-piece gives you 15% skill haste. The 3-piece is 15% skill duration. The 4-piece bonus is Tend and Befriend. Interacting with your deployed skills grants the skill 25% skill damage for 10 seconds. This buff cannot be refreshed. Interactions include using deploying the skill, changing the skill's target, or healing the skill. Very simply guys, just dismantle that skill, and you're in a good place. Yes, when I say that is, you'll see very shortly once we look at one of the talents. But again, these interactions, use it, deploy it, happy days, you're going to get an extra buff. So every 10 seconds you get the extra 25% skill damage, which is handy. Changing the skill's target, very simply, if you're using turret, you just change the target, that will refresh the bonus. And healing the skill, again, which is another one. If you're using, for example, empathic resolve on the chest piece, you heal it, happy days, you're going to get some extra nice damage either way. It's a good setup. Now, in terms of your attributes, guys, look at status effects. There's two options. First option is skill damage. Skill damage will have a really nice fat wedge of damage. That's true. And in fact, you may be able to get more damage from that. However, I've opted for status effects because I want a prolonged ticker burn, which is going to be more suitable for my build and for my skills and my teammates to do more damage. This is like the ultimate crowd control build. It truly is. And I'll show you and demonstrate shortly in the range. The second piece of rigor is the gloves. The gloves, guys, very simply, yeah, it is status effects. Get that everywhere on the build. It's just going to create so much crowd control, so much CC for your team to really punish these on fire absolute scumbags. What are you going to think? Because this is ultimate shock, ultimate burn. Works an absolute dream. Again, guys, I've used this in legendaries. And yes, admittedly, you don't get the amount of carnage in terms of skill damage as you would like. But what you do offer is that huge benefit for your teammates. This would work and does work really well on DUA. Close proximity, this is perfect. So at Roosevelt Island, you have a problem. Trust me, guys, I feel this is not a Roosevelt Island build. It's not. DUA, close proximity, you will love this build. Trust me, it is immense. Now, the third piece of rigor is the chest piece. And we know the chest piece, again, we've looked through the tab. Now, the attributes, again, status effects, and the little minors, yes guys, the little attachment mods, they are skill duration. Why is that? Basically, I want my skill up as long as possible. The longer they are up, the more damage, the more CC it provides. I want that skill duration. Skill haste is irrelevant. Simple, guys, you have an immense amount of skill haste. Let's talk about this. No cooldowns. No cooldowns on your skills. So why would you want any skill haste? Don't use skill haste. Repair, you need skill duration to keep those skills active for longer. More damage, more CC, guys. That's a build. Talents, best buds. Increase the damage buff from 25 to 50%. Every 10 seconds, you'll be buffing it by, again, 50% extra damage. Great. Why wouldn't you? Works a sweet treat. Which as well is this talent, the icon is the kinetic momentum icon. So don't think I'm using kinetic momentum. I'll show you in the range now. That's just how it is. That's just how it has always been on this setup. So let me just spam the turret. You can see kinetic momentum. There you go, bottom left. And that is every 10 seconds. Every 10 seconds, happy days. What's going to happen is it's going to be fresh. There you go. You can see there. And it'll consistently refresh after the 10 seconds. And again, with this flame turret, you can see, guys, it is burning and burning and burning. Burny. Look at these horrible NPC Waziks going down very nicely, creating that nice status effects. Biomass. You see, guys, I like this. Let me just stop that and let me just do this. 45 to 0. There you go, done. That's how powerful this is. Back to the build. So, guys, yes, the chest piece talent best buds is denoted by, yes, you've guessed it, yes, that lovely, well, it's not best buds, sorry, it is the tender befriend best buds kind of activated through the kinetic momentum symbol. That's how it works. So don't think I'm using kinetic momentum. I am not, guys, I am not. Now the backpack, this is the creme de la creme of the build. Why? Because, guys, very simply, is the talent complete uptime. That's what makes the build synergize perfectly. Cancelling your skills will reset their cooldown. That is perfect. Now, the two skills I'm using, one of them will benefit immensely from this, and that is the flame turret. The second skill does not really do much because, you know, guys, you know how the second skill works. There's, again, no real cooldown because once you beat that little mini cooldown, you're laughing away to the bank. The key is to get the second skill up as often as possible because it's active for nearly 2 minutes. That's how powerful your secondary skill is. With that being said, this is all about your first skill, which is the flame turret. Again, just to demonstrate, let me just chuck my flame turret. I'm going to chuck it, drop it like it's hot. It's going to burn a little. And I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to pop it. 45 to 0. That's how strong it is. Simples. Back to the build. So we've seen complete uptime, status effects, skill duration again. Guys, stack it where possible to get the most from your flame turret. The Vile Mask. The Vile Mask, we know this kind of really helps the build kind of synergize together piece by piece. Status effects, hazard protection, and more skill duration, guys. So yeah, nearly up to 30% extra skill duration, and you have the 15% from the rig gear set, and that's an extra 45% skill duration. That's brilliant. That is great. I like this. Toxic Delivery. Status effects also apply a damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and increased by your status effect attributes. So guys, yeah, you know, I have shitloads of status effects in this build. There is shitloads. However, there's no explosive damage. You could go down the route of Demolitionist to get the extra 10%. Then you have China Industries Corporation for the extra 15%. Again, it all stacks up. Guys, yeah, it's dependent on the build. Ideally, this build, don't worry about it. You don't need it. Then guys, the last piece of gear is the Kneepads, and this is the Kneepads. It is Murakami Industries, you guessed it, Emperor's Guard. Perfect for this build. Why WOOO? Just a why. Let's go through this. So you're going to get 1% armor regen. So that is 7260 armor regen on the build, which is not too shabby. And that is better than having 4925, isn't it? So if you get an extra little bit of armor regen, again, nice little trickle will help. Status effects of 10%. Status effects, we know what status effects does by now. Again, it prolongs the burn, bleed, shock, whatever status effects that you apply to an NPC. And this is why I've opted for this. Now with this piece, you can see I have tinkered with this on different builds. I've removed the skill tier and used it as armor, and it's quite nice. Again, dependent on the build. This is a really, really nice way to go. And this is my status effect piece. It's brilliant. It truly is. You don't need skill haste, guys. You don't need skill haste on the build. You've seen that. No skill haste. Don't worry about it. You could go with skill damage. You could go with a Wyvernware piece. That's totally up to you. Or the golden gear that Sando's using. I've opted for this one. 20% skill duration. That means more burn on the turret. Simples. More downtime for my shock trap. Brilliant. And then you have, again, that 10% status effects and some more armor regen just to put the cherry on top of the cake. Weapons, guys. Weapons, it's the Scorpio Exotic Shotgun. This, guys, I've re-rolled it a few times to the point I can't be arsed anymore. I've using all their materials on this. I cannot be bothered, so I'm happy with that. I'm comfortable. If you have a better one, great. For me, I don't. It's what it is. Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies a stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. 1 is poison. 3 disorient, 6 shock, and shock is the key one. 7 target takes additional 20% damage from all sources. Stacks no longer increase, and the duration of status effects is based on percentage of pellets applying on a plain shot. Yeah, so just make sure you're stacking them. You're stacking them, what happens? Yeah, they're going to be moaning, they're going to be crying, because you're going to be punishing them, and this is great. Scorpio is great for this. Capacitor, yeah, that's nice. That will up your damage, definitely, so that's a good alternative. But you have so many different options. The Mechanical Animal, every 90 seconds, go into overcharge, that's fine. You also have, yes, the Test Subject, the Harmony, other options you could use if you so desire. I've opted for the Scorpio Shotgun. This is a really, really good option. Secondary is the Everlasting Gaze. I've opted for this for the reason of perfect perpetuation. Headshots grants 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. With this, you are applying several status effects. Obviously you're applying shock, and you're applying that burn. And not to mention kind of effects, which is your poison, your disorient, all this kind of stuff. What I would look at with this build is occasionally switch to Everlasting Gaze. Just before you're about to pop, your flame turret. And what I'd do is, again, pop the headshot. Just pop a headshot, switch to your skill variant, get on it, and that's going to apply the extra 50% status effect damage and duration. And that's nice way to go. So if it's 20 seconds, you know it's going to be 30 seconds. And that's nice to have. It is a nice addition to this. You don't have to use this. I find this is a good alternative. It's a nice choice. Again, you have the Test Subject, the Harmony, A mechanical animal, you have some different choices. Capacitor, if you wanted to go with that and choose a different primary, that's fine. You have options, and that's good with this. Mods, crit chance, rounds, crit chance, and critical hit damage. Sidearm, it is what it is. Guys, I don't use it. You know this by now if you don't watch my content. I don't use it. It's there for show. Moving on. Guys, let's take a look at the skills. The first skill is the shock trap. This has a cooldown of 48 seconds. You'll go, oh, woo, what's that all about? Look at this shit cooldown. Well, we know how this works by now, guys, and the shock trap is a great CC tool to use in any content now. Especially more difficult content. This is great for legendaries. I use this a lot. I use status effect builds as my go-to in legendaries because they are great for teammates. I mean, look at this shit. Pairs well with Vile Mask. Brilliant. And then you have, yes, this extra fantastic, what do you call it? Status effects shock. This is great. And then you have this bad boy as well from the Scorpio. Jobs are good, and it truly is. Now, the good thing with this is this shock trap will last you 2 minutes. 2 minutes from deployment. Yeah, that's great. I don't know, most firefights in heroic content, you know, you can be dealt with in 60 seconds maximum. But with this is more so the legendary setup. Get this on, you know, once it's ready to be dismantled like this, it's back again. I can deploy as such. Happy days. Again, rigger, then it doesn't really make a difference with rigger on this. It doesn't. But what I like about this and how I've got this build set out, it's just stacked into duration, which means it's there for 2 minutes, guys. 2 minutes is great, and that's why I like this setup. Let me just dismantle that now. And then what we're going to do is show the flame turret. Flame turret is brilliant. I love this. It just offers that burn, that bleed, and then you have the shock as well that goes with this. And that's brilliant, and that's a great continual tick of status effect burn damage. I love this. Going back to the shock trap, you can see 48-second cooldown, which is fine. Again, that is awesome. 4.2 meter radius. That's what I've opted for. Duration of 7.6 seconds. 115 seconds duration of that being on the floor. Just shocking those NPC scumbags. I like it. I've opted for duration and shock radius. My primary is, yes, you guessed it, the Incinerator turret. I like this. It's not as good as the Diff 1 flame turret, but still a really good addition to skills on offer. This is one of the lower tier skills, but still has a great value if you set it up right, and this is the perfect way to use a flame turret. Trust me, it is. 44.7 second cooldown. No, it's not. There's no cooldown. There's 0. Look. Let me dismantle. No cooldown. Done. Back to the skill. So no cooldown, duration. It's up for 46 seconds, which is great, and that's including the burn. It's going to burn for 46 seconds. Damage of 47,160. The range is 15 meters. The burn damage is 148,216. The burn duration, that's NPCs will burn for 11.5 seconds. That's great. That's your PvP burn damage and your PvP general damage. This is excellent. It truly is. Mod-wise, guys, burn damage max. Get some more duration on there as well. And skill haste. Skill haste is irrelevant, but, guys, I don't have a better mod. That's the best one I have. And the shocks, simple as duration and shock radius. Guys, that is a setup. Let me just show you one more time. Look, simple. Drop that. Burny. Dismantle. Again, they will just keep burning. So 11.5 second burn duration. Done. Vile Mask, you know what that does. This works very, very well, guys. Trust me, very, very, very well. Lastly, stats, guys, you can see don't worry too much about crit chance, crit damage, weapon damage. Doesn't mean diddly shit on this build. It's all about what you do with status effects. Spreading the love on this build. 27.1% shotty damage, which is okay. And then we just take a look at this. My armor regen is 7260, and that's because I have that 1% from the Emperor's Guard Kneepads. And let's take a look at the rest. See a little bit of hazard protection on there as well, which always helps in any content. Skill haste is a measly 25%, and that's simply from the rigger gear set. It is what it is, guys. It doesn't mean diddly squat to me. all I want to do with this build is just making sure I'm spamming that flame turret, and once it goes out, spam it again. Goes out, spam it again. And that's what's so good about this build. Just be careful the NPCs don't destroy it. If they destroy it, you have to wait. It's what's going to feel like an eternity to get that skill back again. So bear that in mind. Use it strategically. Deploy it very cleverly, and just make sure that you're afar a little bit, just so they can't reach it in time to damage it or destroy it. And then you have that complete downtime of, was it 45 seconds without a primary skill, which is just it's a non-starter, guys, trust me. So just be wise when you use this. So guys, that's how that looks. It's a good build, guys. It truly is. It's a fun build, and that's what you want to see in this patch. Flame turret doing some work. Very, very nice. But guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Sando, thank you for sharing your build. I put a little bit of a tweak on it using the Kneepads, and it works really well for me in any content. It truly does. But guys, enjoy the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.